Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we are trying out Silverstone Karting for the very first time. One of the very first to actually try this track. How very exciting. Thank you very much to Silverstone for inviting me, for letting me try out their track way before their opening day. As you can expect, it was very much still a work in progress in terms of constructing stuff. So you may see certain elements of this video blurred out because it's still under construction, all that good stuff. You want to see the finished product further down the line. But at the moment, the track's looking very, very good. We're going to basically talk about the track. What we're doing here, we have just done a practice session, a 10-minute practice. There was no timing. They're still yet to do that as well, which is fair enough. But yeah, random gridded start. I was very lucky to start on the front row, which is a little bit unfair, but there we go. But yeah, we've got a bunch of drivers in this race who are, who are either good at driving or capture content, like myself. I like recording stuff. I'm using one of their cameras, okay, because I wasn't allowed to use my own on this occasion. Hopefully in the future. But yeah, at least we've got something. Yeah, it might not have stabilization, it may not have 4K, it may not have the perspective, but at least we got something. You can get kind of an idea what this track is like, and at least I have something that I can show you. Otherwise I'll be very upset. Yeah, so this actually took place on the weekend of Silverstone Festival, so that's why you see quite a lot of people dotted around watching, and saw lots of karters as well. So shout out to everyone who I saw that day. It was really good to see. I think everyone started gathering around when they saw some karts going around Silverstone. It's a very weird thing to think of. But yeah, this was great. This track is very well built. The surface quality is very good. You can see we're off to an excellent start as well. And this is what I love. Trying different tracks out, but trying to get good at them fast, trying to adapt quickly. That's, I like to say that's a good skill of mine. When you go abroad, you figure out that they're very good at that over there. But in this country, I feel very good at it here. I feel like I can, especially all tracks really, indoor, outdoor, I feel like I can get up to speed quite fast. And the more tracks you do, the better you get at doing that. I think I've probably done about 65 tracks now in total, both indoor and outdoor in this country. Yeah, it's a lot. So it's a lot of different type of corners I've done, and everything's just like a slight. Every corner I've done somewhere else. You know what I mean? Just thrown in a different order. But yeah, this section flat out. Well, there's a lot of flat out sections. I think that'd be a fair comment to make. I did get to invite a +1, and I invited Sam Lovelace, who's a very good friend of mine, also a teammate of mine in endurance racing. So quite commonly we do races together as a team. We haven't done much recently, but we used to do it like every month. And he's in this, and I thought it'd be good to share the experience, if you like, with someone who I know very well. And I knew coming out the pit lane that he actually just shut off. So I was like, either I'm not getting used to this, or his kart is good, or he's good and his kart's good. And it turns out, obviously I know Sam can drive. His kart was slightly better, or at least that's what I thought. I guess we'll find out. But he is catching us, and that's not good. I thought I'm not driving too badly, but Sam is still catching us. This is not good. We want to win the first Silverstone Karting race, so. But I'm shaking my head because I know he's coming. I can see how much he's catching. He didn't. I started on the front row. He was a few rows back from me. He's had to go through a few drivers, and he's coming. But let's talk about the track for a little bit. These curbs you can see here. You can see I'm not really bothering them. They're high, so you don't really want to hit them. And quite, with the exit, the rumble strips. If you get on it, you get stuck out there a little bit, exactly like the PFI rumble strips. If you've ever done that track or seen that track, very similar concept. And I think that's good because it's a little bit of a deterrent for running wide or cutting the track. You can see because of this configuration, obviously this is not the full track. I look forward to doing the full track another time, but yeah, you can expect to maybe be doing one of these tracks if you were to visit. You can see, for example, this next corner here, there is no curb there. And there's a lot of places where there's no curb here as well. and that's just because we're going through so many different like shortcuts and long cuts and just different sections of the track. I think it's fine the way it is. I don't think you really need to add more curbs because you just have curbs in random spaces. Here I'm very frustrated because I know Sam's coming for me, but at least it's going to make some better content. I do bounce off the curb a little bit there as well, so it's not good, and Sam is coming, so but we got to be perfect all the time, you know. You can never get stressed out. Why would I be stressed out in this? It's just a fun race, but it would be nice to win it. But I know Sam's coming at a ridiculous speed, so oh well. These karts anyway, they are Sodi RT10s. Sodis are my favourite karts to drive in terms of 4-stroke karts. You know, if you ask me the question, Dante, would you like to drive Beers? Would you like to drive Birrell? Sodi? What's the other one? Remo, whatever it's called, Remo. I would choose Sodi every day of the week. They're just very comfortable. You can adjust the karts massively in terms of your seating position, pedal position, so everyone can be comfortable in them. I like them. I also like the cockpit feel to them as well. I think they're really good. But yeah, these ones have electric start. They can be electronically controlled. They have different speed settings as well. So even though they are petrol, they can still detect the speed of them. And this is not the fastest speed. We are like one down from the top one. And these karts are still being running as well. They're still brand spanking new, man. They're not going to be the fastest like right now. Usually when you get new karts, Sodi included, they're quite slow to begin with, but then they can find literally seconds, you know, just from being running for over a duration of time. They do get faster, so I'm interested to see how fast it really gets here. Obviously it's not going to be anything unbelievable because this track, naturally there are a lot of straights. It's very wide, which is brilliant for overtaking, don't get me wrong, and you'll see that surely that the racing can be good here. You can see just how responsive the front end is. You just have to be very, very elegant, very smooth. You've got to manage the slide, especially into this first corner here where you swing it in a fair amount, get very close to the cones, which I'm sure they'll replace those cones for something else further down the line. But yeah, you can see here my hands are barely moving. We're just trying to manage the slide, not let it kick out too much. That sort of thing, really. Sam is coming. Goodness me. That corner was a really good corner. That hairpin there, the elevation there. Look, you can see Sam's coming. He's coming fast. He's coming very, very fast. And he's coming so fast, he's already passed us. That is mental. Slipstream, clearly very powerful for Sam. But now the big question is, can we keep up? You can see I'm trying to cling onto the back here. I think we're about to chuck a rope on the rear of his cart to try and stay with him. But yeah, that's kind of the next question. Can we keep up? This is all for dramatic effect, by the way. Okay, this is just what I do. Okay, this is for fun. But yeah, this is going to be a good challenge, trying to keep up with Sam. You can see our lines are very, very different through this corner. I'm definitely a lot more comfortable than he is through there. You know, he's taking a different line. I think the wider you go there, the bumpier it gets and the more the rear wants to kick out. I'm keeping it a bit tighter where it seems to be a bit more settled. It's quite on edge to speed flat out through there, so I can imagine on the high speed setting and when they're a little bit faster, whenever they get used a bit more, it's going to be proper on edge. But yeah, we're just trying to stay weird. We're doing good around the corners. We know Sam knows how to drive, so we're relying on him to make errors in order to stay with him here. You can see through here, you know, we're doing okay. We had slightly more cornering speed there, but it's not a lot. And you can see he's not really leaving me massively, you know, so I was surprised by that. I was thinking, right, okay, so he's just caught me at a crazy notch. And clearly the slipstream's working a little bit. It's not too bad. This is raceable. What I'm doing now is raceable. Obviously, when it gets a bit more proper, they're running actual events. They're probably doing loads of fleet testing. The karts will be close. This is still relatively close. Like, some people don't realise that rental karting, especially when you have the number of karts that they've got. I think they've got something like 55 karts. That's a lot to stay on top of. You know, especially, I think they'll ensure even wear and tear and all that sort of thing, even engine wear, etc. But that's a lot of karts. It can be difficult, especially at a track like this. But it's good that they are going to do a lot of fleet testing and stuff, because at this track you need it. especially with the sort of events that they'll probably be looking to run. You know, this is a proper facility here. Especially if we were to do the full track, which obviously we're not showcasing today. It would be very exciting. You can see we're miles back from Sam here, but just doing the correct line, you can see he went so wide, he brushed against the wall, and we're all over him again. So we can absolutely do it in this car. We can try and win the first ever Silverstone Kart Grand Prix, let's call it, which doesn't have any timing. As you can see, they have the screens on the Sony wheels. So you can, I'm sure further down the line that will probably tell you distance in front, behind, best lap, previous lap, whatever, something along those lines. And that'll be really good for like race management, etc. So that's exciting. Obviously not going to be in place today if there's no timing, but that's definitely something to look forward to. What else? Well, first of all, I think these sticker kits look really cool as well. So clear, the design, everything just looks good. The team at Silverstone, they know what they're doing. It's going to be a proper setup. It's the most exciting thing to happen for rental karting in the UK. That's, you know, simple as that. For owner karting, I'm not sure. You know, like I think this track will be good for owner karting. Don't get me wrong, especially with how much it opens up. But you know, owner karting already have so many big tracks already, or somewhat big tracks. But for rental karting, we don't really have this as much. You know, if you think about PFI, their karts are, you know, they're not close. They don't look to keep them even in that sense. If they work, then great, they can be used for a race, and that's fine because PFI's main appeal is owner karting. Silverstone here, there's a big focus on their corporate stuff, I think, from what it seems, but also on the competitive stuff. So for like people like me who like to obviously do the individual races, the team endurance races, there's a lot to look forward to in that regard. Now you can see here we're trying to be as precise as possible to keep up with Sam, who's doing a great job. Again, the different lines here is what makes the difference through there. And you can see going down the hill, I'm able to stick with relatively okay. So being very dramatic earlier for no reason. You can see we caught round this corner as well. I like to take an earlier entrance. Sam likes to take a later apex there. I found that if you could turn in, if you're able to turn in earlier and keep it steady, because obviously it was harder to keep it steady if you turn in earlier because of the way it was banked, then I found it to be faster. You know me, I'm a risk taker. I'll do it. Yeah. The gap kind of staying the same for now. We're keen to try and get back in front here. Sam goes a little bit deep into that last corner, and we get a small run on him now. Kind of evens out here, but the yellow flag is out in the first corner for the cones. You know, we're fairly good drivers, but eventually someone made a mistake with the cone. But we're back racing now. We're so close to him that we'll probably run into him if we took our normal line. So we've had to just copy him, basically. We look behind as Sam came to the right, and suddenly we presented with an overtaking opportunity, and you could I could kind of sense that the race there's not long left of this race, 15 minutes. You can see there I signalled to Sam, push me. I knew he wasn't going to push me. If you see the amount of people watching, he wants to put on a show, and I don't blame him. And he comes past here. Third place is just doing the corner that we've just done now. So we've got a little bit of a gap to kind of mess around and see if we can battle each other, see who can win the inaugural Grand Prix of Silverstone Karting. But yeah, in terms of, you know, would I recommend you doing this track? Obviously I'm going to say yes. It'll be a stupid question. You know, it's a high-speed track. The karts are proper. It feels proper. The setup feels good. It's all comfortable. It's in Silverstone, so you can say you've been to Silverstone. It felt weird to turn up to Silverstone with my karting gear. It felt strange to me. Obviously I've never driven on their track, but it felt weird. It was like the biggest car park you'd ever been to, obviously. But I'm sure Silverstone Karting will probably get their own car park, I hope, because otherwise it's a bit of a walk. But yeah, you can see here I'm getting frustrated because I think Sam's going to clear me around the outside, but again, being over dramatic for no reason, because we were able to just hold him tight round the outside. This track is good for racing, you know, because of the slipstream and stuff like that. It kind of always keeps you in the battle. You can see, even though he caught up to us so fast, that slipstream was just about good enough for us to stay in the fight. And it isn't long left. You can see when we were defending on that previous corner, well, you couldn't see it, but I actually got a little gap. So now I've got a little bit of space. You can see here, I'm trying to be as perfect as possible, really, really smooth, as close as we can to those high curbs. And again, taking the lines that I want to take, so you can see there, I think that's the fastest way through. Like, that felt fastest to me. And then down here, just keeping it in a straight line, not scrubbing any speed, then being very, very smooth. But Sam's all literally on our bumper here, so we're trying to defend. He's to our outside. We come back on the outside, open up the corner, and we're going to lift off a little bit, keep him to the right-hand side. Some sneaky driving here, but, you know, it's all fair. I thought I was safe into this corner, but Sam sticks his nose in and he's going to lean on us again as well. And I don't know it yet, but we're about to go into the last lap of this race. He's still there. He's still trying to pressurise me. He then dips to the outside, but I don't have enough time to dip all the way to the outside. I've gone in a bit deep and Sam has undercut me here. Look, already passed me again. This is good. Like, this is really raceable against each other. Like, it's difficult to defend because it's so wide. The driver behind has so much space to play with. This is really good. I'm very interested to see how like a big train would pan out at a track like this. I reckon you could get 2 wide, 3 wide in some cases, and everyone would be okay because there's so much space. You can see the amount of track there is available. You could see I stared at the marshal there because I was seeing, is he getting his checkered flag ready? Because I could feel the end of the race was close. My instinct was right, but I didn't do anything about it. As you can see here, Sam's done. And we're going to finish second, and Sam's going to win Silverstone, the first one. Congratulations to him. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I'm upset that I lost, but I loved it. I thought it was great fun. I'd do it all again. I could have done that for a lot longer. You know, as much as Sam and I are used to much faster karts, a much faster setup than this, the fact that you can race and be very close and not get away and always be in the battle was really, really good. You can see there, waving to the fans, blowing them kisses. We've got to rinse this opportunity, man. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. You can see the track is right next to the Silverstone Museum there as well. There's a lot going on in Silverstone. I've only been there once before to watch a random qualifying session. But yeah, we're back into the pit lane now, which I'm sure will get built up properly closer to the opening date. But for now, it was some karts at a track, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I had a great battle with my teammate. I could have gone on for a lot longer. I really enjoyed the challenge. And yeah, I'm very excited for Silverstone to open properly, to see what events they run. And we're going to end this video with a few photos. There's Sam and I on the start line. There's me where we were just racing there. We even got to stay and watch the rest of the Silverstone Festival, watching some cars and tracks. So again, massive shout out to the guys and girls at Silverstone Karting for allowing us to do that. We celebrated the 1-2 with some drinks as well, some cocktails later that evening. But yeah, what a day. Thank you very much to Silverstone for getting this sorted for us, and thank you very much to you for watching. I hope you're as excited as I am for Silverstone.